Hey there people, I'm Ryan Wyatt, this is High Point Music, and today we're going to be breaking down the G major chord for all you beginners out there. So let's get into it. Okay, so there's several ways in which we can play a G major, particularly when we're learning and starting out. The one we're going to look at today and focus our attention is this G major here, where we are incorporating all 4 fingers in our chord shape, and that is one of the reasons why this chord shape is found very difficult for a lot of beginners out there. Now, there's 3 things I want to talk about today. The first one I want to talk about is a basic fundamental, so that's fret position. So that's where we're placing our fingers in the fret in relation to our chord shape. Second one we're going to get onto, people, is we're going to talk about fingertip placement, which is very, very important. And the third area I see people who are at the beginning level having issues with their G major is their contact points. So we've got fret position, fingertips, and contact points. Let's break those down one by one. Okay, so starting out with fret position, point number 1, people, we want to try and get our finger as close as we can to the fret marker, because that reduces the amount of pressure we actually have to put on the string to get it to sound. So by setting our first finger up in really good fret position here, we're allowing our second, third and fourth fingers to stretch into really nice fret position as well as we get into this chord shape. So you can see my first finger's sitting nice and close, nice and snug to that fret marker there. My second finger, I'm placing it round about the middle because it's a bit unrealistic to try and get all fingers like that, and because of the position it puts our wrist in. So what we want to do is first finger here, second finger round about the middle of the fret marker, and then the third and fourth fingers. That allows a nice comfortable space, keeping our wrists nice and steady, and third and fourth fingers going in there. Okay, so that's fret position, and I found very common, if we don't get our first finger in good position, it's very difficult to get the other ones in. Now we've got our fret position sorted, let's jump in and talk about our fingertip placement. So you can see with our chord shape here, all the fingers are sitting in and they're targeting that middle part of the fingertip there. So the reason why we target that middle part of the fingertip is because it creates a nice smooth contact point with the strings and doesn't get in the way of other strings. So if we fret our fingers a little bit lower on the fingertip, like this for example, you can see my second finger in particular, it's blocking off that note, it's muting it. My first finger's affecting that D string, the G string can ring out well, and these two can somewhat function, but when you've got the first part of the chord sounding like rubbish, you've got to get that fingertip placement nice and correct. Now, the next point we're going to look at is contact points directly affects our fingertip. If we're up on our fingertips, we generally have our fingertips contacting the front of the fretboard. My thumb is on the back of the fretboard like this, and there's a bit of space between my palm and the fretboard. It's okay to have a mild bit of contact. Like for example, I just have a light touch there from time to time. But what you want to avoid is our palm contacting the fretboard like this. Because what this does is this actually takes away space and allowing our fingers to come in at that right angle to the fretboard and get up on their fingertips. So you can see my fingers are curled around. Okay, the top half of the chord sounding like rubbish. What we want to do, lower that thumb, get that palm off the fretboard, come around our fingertips, and have a look at my wrist angle. See, my wrist isn't cocking and doing anything uncomfortable. It's still maintaining a reasonably straight line there, but I'm just up on my tips like that. Okay, so wrapping it up, boiling it down into 3 points for you people out there. Fret position, get your first finger as close as you can to that fret marker. Second finger round about the middle of the fret. Third and fourth can sit snugly in that position there down the bottom 2 strings like that. Next thing we want to make sure we've got in check is our fingertips. So we're targeting the middle part of the finger. Okay, so nice central contact, and then on contact we've got point number 3, which we just have our thumb and our fingertips and maybe a light bit of contact on our palm there, but we want to avoid the bulk of our palm touching the fretboard. So if you people have any questions about any of those technique points on how to get your G major chord sounding sweet and clear, hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to continue the conversation with you people there. I'm Ryan Wyatt, this is High Point Music. Enjoy your guitar practice.